The room went quiet in a way that felt wrong. Not respectful quiet, not thoughtful quiet, but the kind that creeps in when someone has just said too much and everyone knows there is no taking it back. Funky Dineva leaned forward, eyes sharp, voice steady but loaded, and dropped a sentence that hit like a slap. He claimed the DNA test at the center of the Tamar and Mendeecees drama was fake. Not questionable, not unclear, fake. In that moment, fans were shocked, producers froze, and a long simmering story cracked wide open. For weeks, the internet had been buzzing with whispers about Tamar Braxton, Mendeecees Harris, and a supposed DNA report that was meant to settle everything. Instead, it did the opposite. It fueled arguments, divided families, and turned comment sections into war zones. People picked sides without hesitation. Some swore Tamar was being set up. Others insisted Mendeecees had secrets he never planned to share. But no one expected Funky to step in and expose what he called the darkest layer of the mess. He did not stop at paperwork. Funky hinted at an alleged physical confrontation tied to the fallout, an attack that was quietly brushed aside while cameras focused elsewhere. According to him, this was not just reality television chaos. This was real anger spilling into real life. Emotions ran high, lines were crossed, and someone got hurt while the truth stayed hidden. As clips of Funky's comments spread, reactions poured in fast. Fans were shocked by the confidence in his voice. He did not hedge his words. He did not laugh it off. He spoke like someone who had seen proof and was tired of pretending. Tamar's name trended within minutes. Mendeecees' past was dragged back into the spotlight. Old interviews were replayed, facial expressions analyzed, timelines questioned. Every pause suddenly meant something. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that the family was left divided. Phones rang unanswered. Messages were read and ignored. Friends chose silence instead of loyalty. Tamar, known for wearing her heart out loud, was said to be devastated and furious in equal measure. Mendeecees, usually guarded, reportedly felt betrayed by people he once trusted. And somewhere in the middle sat a DNA test that might not have been real at all. This was no longer about one document or one argument. It was about control, reputation, and who gets to tell the story first. As Funky's words echoed across social media, one question hung heavy in the air. If the DNA test was fake, what else had been staged, hidden, or twisted for the cameras? And if there really was an alleged attack, who was being protected while the truth stayed buried? What started as gossip was now something darker. And this time, there was no easy ending in sight. The fallout began quietly, the kind of quiet that never lasts. After Funky's words hit the air, phones started buzzing in circles that never usually crossed. Tamar was at home when she first heard the clip, sitting with a friend who watched her face change as the audio played. At first she laughed, sharp and defensive, brushing it off like another loud opinion meant for clicks. But as Funky kept talking, laying out details he claimed could be verified, the laughter drained away. Her shoulders stiffened, her eyes fixed on nothing. She asked to hear it again, slower this time, as if the truth might sound different on a second pass. Across town, Mendeecees heard about it through a call that started with silence. A long pause, then a question that felt like an accusation. "Did you see what Funky said?" He did not answer right away. People close to him later said he already knew something like this was coming. The DNA test had never sat right with him, not because of what it said, but because of how fast it appeared and how hard certain people pushed it as final proof. Still, hearing it said out loud, publicly, was another thing. Emotions ran high even before he spoke. Within hours, screenshots began circulating. Cropped messages, half-visible emails, dates circled in red. Fans were shocked by how quickly the narrative shifted. Just days earlier, many had accepted the DNA result as the end of the story. Now, comment sections filled with questions. Who paid for the test? Who handled the sample? Why were there gaps in the timeline? People who claimed insider knowledge hinted that the document had changed hands more than once before it reached the cameras. Tamar tried to get ahead of it. She went live briefly, her voice calm but strained, insisting she had nothing to hide. She said she had trusted people who presented the test as legitimate. She said she felt blindsided by the accusations and hurt by the implication that she would ever fake something so serious. But even as she spoke, viewers noticed what she did not say. She did not directly deny that the test itself could be flawed. That silence spoke loudly. Behind the scenes, family members took sides. Some urged Tamar to stay quiet, to let the noise burn itself out. Others wanted her to fight back immediately, to name names and expose whoever had set her up. The family was left divided, group chats splitting into smaller ones, calls ending early. Old resentments resurfaced, dragged back into the present by a single piece of paper. Then the story took a darker turn. Funky returned to the topic, this time hinting at an alleged attack tied to the DNA fallout. He spoke carefully, choosing his words, but the implication was clear. There had been a confrontation, not on camera, not meant for public eyes. According to him, tempers exploded after someone questioned the authenticity of the test in person. Voices were raised, accusations flew, and at some point, it crossed a line. Fans were shocked by how quickly sympathy shifted. Some who had defended Tamar now wondered what she knew and when. Others turned on Mendeecees, suggesting his past made the allegations believable. Old headlines resurfaced, stitched together into new theories. Nothing existed in isolation anymore. People close to the situation described nights filled with frantic calls. Mendeecees was said to be furious, not just at Funky, but at the people who had assured him the DNA issue was handled. He reportedly demanded answers, pressing for receipts, timelines, anything solid. When explanations fell apart, his anger turned cold. Trust evaporated. Tamar, meanwhile, felt cornered. Friends said she oscillated between rage and heartbreak. One moment she wanted to expose everything, the next she feared what would happen if she did. Her brand, her family, her child, all felt suddenly fragile. She questioned everyone around her. Who had leaked? Who had lied? Who had stayed silent? As whispers of the alleged attack spread, those involved clammed up. No statements. No clarifications. Silence that only fed speculation. Fans filled in the gaps themselves, imagining scenes more dramatic than reality could ever be. Still, the absence of denial kept the story alive. The DNA test itself became a character in the drama. Bloggers dissected it line by line, comparing it to legitimate reports. Inconsistencies were pointed out, fonts questioned, signatures analyzed. Experts weighed in, cautiously, noting things that did not quite add up. Each observation poured fuel on the fire. And then came the betrayal no one saw coming. Someone from inside the circle, a person trusted by both sides, allegedly confirmed to a blogger that the test had been rushed and mishandled. Not fake in the sense of invented, they claimed, but compromised enough to be unreliable. That distinction did nothing to calm the storm. Instead, it deepened it. If the test could not be trusted, then the truth was still out there, waiting. As the night wore on, Tamar sat alone, replaying conversations in her head. Every reassurance now felt suspicious. Mendeecees paced his space, replaying the same question. Who thought this would never come out? Fans stayed glued to their screens, knowing this was only the beginning, because once doubt enters a story like this, it never leaves quietly. By morning, the damage was impossible to contain. Blogs that usually waited for confirmation ran with the story anyway, framing it as a bombshell no one could ignore. Fans were shocked not just by the allegations, but by how many people suddenly claimed they had known something was off all along. Timelines were rewritten in real time. Old posts were reposted with new captions, suggesting hidden meanings that were never noticed before. The narrative kept mutating, growing sharper with every retelling. Tamar woke up to missed calls she did not return. She scrolled in silence, jaw tight, watching strangers debate her life with absolute certainty. Some defended her fiercely, insisting she was being targeted and humiliated for entertainment. Others accused her of manipulation, calling her tears strategic and her silence calculated. Emotions ran high on every side, and no amount of clarification seemed capable of slowing the flood. Mendeecees broke his silence privately before he did publicly. He called a family meeting that was anything but calm. Voices overlapped. Accusations landed without warning. One relative demanded to know why the DNA test was accepted without a second opinion. Another insisted they were misled by someone who claimed professional connections. Trust collapsed in that room piece by piece. The family was left divided in a way that felt permanent. Outside that circle, the alleged attack became the most dangerous thread in the story. Details were vague, which made it worse. People speculated freely. Some claimed it happened during a heated argument at a private residence. Others said it took place in a parking lot after cameras were shut off. No one could agree on who was involved, only that it had been serious enough to scare those who witnessed it. The lack of clarity turned rumor into assumed fact. Funky added fuel without adding comfort. He went live again, frustration bleeding into his voice. He insisted he was not attacking Tamar or Mendeecees, but exposing a system that thrived on chaos. He claimed producers knew more than they let on. He suggested certain scenes were redirected to avoid legal fallout. Fans were shocked by how openly he criticized the machine behind the drama, not just the people caught inside it. Tamar watched that live in pieces, turning it off, then back on. She texted someone she thought she could trust, asking a simple question. Why now? The reply took hours. When it came, it was vague and unsatisfying. That was when the fear set in. Not fear of public opinion, but fear of how much control she had lost over her own story. Mendeecees, meanwhile, prepared a statement he never released. Drafts piled up, each one angrier than the last. He wanted to call out names, to expose how the test was handled, to explain why he had doubts from the start. But lawyers warned him to slow down. They reminded him that allegations of a fake DNA test and an alleged attack carried consequences beyond social media. Restraint felt like another betrayal. Friends on both sides struggled to stay neutral. Some unfollowed quietly. Others posted cryptic messages about truth and patience. Every vague quote was treated like a confession. Fans dissected emojis, punctuation, silence. Nothing was meaningless anymore. Then a new twist surfaced. A lab technician, or someone claiming to be one, allegedly reached out to a smaller blogger with questions about the test. They did not confirm it was fake. Instead, they raised concerns about chain of custody. Who handled the sample? How long it sat before processing? Whether standard protocol was followed? It was enough to reignite everything. The word fake trended again, louder than before. Tamar felt betrayed by the people who had encouraged her to trust the process. She replayed meetings in her head, remembering confident smiles and reassurances that everything was solid. Now those same people were unreachable. Calls went straight to voicemail. Texts stayed unread. The isolation was suffocating. Mendeecees confronted someone he believed played a central role. The conversation was explosive. Voices echoed. Blame bounced back and forth. At one point, he accused them of deliberately rushing the test to control the narrative. They denied it, insisting they were trying to help. The argument ended without resolution, leaving both sides more convinced they were right. The alleged attack returned to the spotlight when a witness hinted at what they saw. Not in detail, but enough to suggest it was physical and frightening. They claimed they were told to stay quiet for the sake of everyone involved. Fans were shocked by the idea that something so serious could be buried so easily. Pressure mounted for someone to speak openly. As days passed, the story hardened. Opinions calcified. Tamar was either a victim or a villain, depending on who you asked. Mendeecees was either wronged or hiding something. Nuance vanished. Only drama remained. And through it all, the central question lingered unanswered. If the DNA test could not be trusted, what was the truth it was meant to replace? And how far had people gone to keep that truth from coming out? The pressure finally forced movement. Someone close to Tamar leaked that she had demanded an independent DNA test, one conducted without cameras, producers, or familiar faces hovering nearby. The leak was meant to paint her as confident and cooperative, but it landed differently. Fans questioned why that had not been done from the start. Suspicion deepened. Emotions ran high again, louder than before. Mendeecees heard about the demand through the same back channels that had fed him half-truths for weeks. Instead of relief, he felt insulted. To him, it sounded like damage control, not honesty. He told friends that a second test now would only muddy the waters further. If the first one was compromised, then someone needed to explain how and why, not quietly move on as if nothing happened. The family was left divided even more sharply, with some urging closure and others demanding accountability. Funky, watching the chaos he helped ignite, refused to back down. He claimed more people were reaching out to him privately, sharing stories that supported his doubts. He spoke about meetings that happened off camera, about tense exchanges where voices were raised and threats were implied without being spoken. Fans were shocked by how confident he sounded, as if he were daring anyone to challenge him publicly. Tamar's inner circle shrank. People she once spoke to daily became distant, afraid of being pulled into the storm. She began documenting everything, saving messages, screenshots, voice notes. Trust was gone, replaced by caution. Every conversation felt like a potential leak. Even kindness felt suspicious. The alleged attack resurfaced when a blurry photo circulated online, showing what looked like a bruise on someone connected to the situation. No caption explained it, no name was attached, but speculation exploded. People filled in the blanks with certainty. Some insisted it was proof. Others called it reckless rumor. The silence from those involved made it worse. Emotions ran high across every platform. Mendeecees confronted the rumors head-on in a private conversation that later leaked. He denied ever laying hands on anyone and called the allegations dangerous and irresponsible. His words were firm, controlled, but anger slipped through the cracks. He accused unnamed people of weaponizing his past to distract from the real issue. The DNA test, the truth, accountability. Tamar felt caught between defending herself and protecting others. She knew denying the alleged attack outright could expose someone who was not ready to speak. But staying quiet made her look complicit. Friends begged her to say something, anything. She drafted statements late into the night, deleting them just as fast. Nothing felt right. Producers added to the tension by staying silent publicly while quietly reaching out behind the scenes. Meetings were requested. Conversations were framed as concern. But both Tamar and Mendeecees sensed the same thing. Control. The narrative had slipped, and the machine wanted it back. Trust, already fragile, shattered further. Fans noticed the shift in tone from official sources. Vague comments about respecting privacy replaced earlier confidence. That alone convinced many that something was wrong. Theories grew darker. People questioned whether the story had been steered away from the alleged attack to avoid legal issues. Others wondered if the DNA test drama was a distraction from something even bigger. Funky hinted again that there were receipts he had not shared. He spoke about protecting sources, about waiting for the right moment. Fans were shocked by his restraint, interpreting it as proof that what he knew was serious. His credibility, questioned at first, began to solidify in the eyes of many. Tamar finally spoke privately to a close friend and admitted she felt set up. Not just by one person, but by a chain of decisions she no longer understood. She said she trusted people who assured her everything was legitimate. Now she wondered if that trust was misplaced from the start. The realization hurt more than the accusations. Mendeecees, isolated in his own way, revisited every step that led them here. He questioned why he had agreed to let the test be handled the way it was. Why he ignored the feeling in his gut that something was off. Regret mixed with anger, creating a restless energy that kept him awake at night. The families on both sides stopped pretending unity was possible. Some relatives spoke openly about feeling manipulated. Others blamed fame for everything that went wrong. The family was left divided along lines that might never heal. Holidays, once loud and crowded, were now uncertain. As days turned into weeks, the story refused to fade. New angles emerged constantly. An old associate hinted that they were pressured to stay quiet early on. A friend of a friend claimed to have seen paperwork that contradicted the original test. None of it was confirmed, but confirmation no longer mattered. Belief had taken over. Tamar watched her name trend again, feeling numb instead of shocked. Mendeecees saw his past weaponized daily, each headline reopening wounds he thought had scarred over. Funky stood firm, insisting the truth would surface eventually, whether people liked it or not. And beneath all the noise, the core questions remained unanswered. Who benefited from rushing the DNA test? Who silenced talk of the alleged attack? And how many people knew the truth while the audience was fed something else entirely? The tension reached a fever pitch when an anonymous source allegedly close to both Tamar and Mendeecees spoke to a gossip outlet. The source claimed there were recordings, off-the-record moments showing conversations that contradicted everything publicly known. Fans were shocked, scrambling to piece together what could be real and what was staged. Speculation ran wild as timelines were reconstructed in threads, charts, and video clips. Every detail, no matter how small, was scrutinized. Tamar felt herself unraveling under the weight of constant scrutiny. Even small interactions online felt like tests. A like, a comment, or a follow-back was interpreted as a secret message, proof of alliance or betrayal. She tried to maintain composure, reminding herself that the cameras were only capturing parts of life, but inside, every heartbeat felt amplified. Every breath felt measured. Mendeecees grew increasingly frustrated with the narrative spinning out of control. He reached out to several people he thought could help clarify facts, but many were hesitant, fearful of being implicated or caught in crossfire. The alleged attack, already shrouded in ambiguity, became a central fear. If rumors were to be believed, the situation could have legal consequences, and everyone involved risked more than public shame. Funky, sensing the momentum, decided to release additional commentary. He spoke with deliberate caution, implying knowledge of financial and logistical manipulation tied to the DNA test. Fans were shocked at the breadth of what he claimed to know. He described how certain individuals allegedly orchestrated the test to favor one narrative, creating tension behind the scenes, including heated phone calls and threats veiled in politeness. Tamar's inner circle fractured further. Friends who once offered support now argued about the best course of action. Some advocated for transparency at all costs, while others urged discretion, emphasizing legal implications and the potential fallout of public admission. Every decision carried enormous weight, and indecision became a recurring pattern. Mendeecees revisited past statements and interviews, analyzing inconsistencies and searching for anything that could shed light on the alleged attack. He spoke with lawyers privately, discussing the ramifications of addressing it publicly versus staying silent. The strategic approach was cold, deliberate, but carried an undercurrent of emotional strain that leaked in rare moments of frustration. Rumors about the DNA test grew more convoluted. Social media influencers dissected screenshots of reports, highlighting potential errors, questionable timestamps, and unusual formatting. Hashtags like #FAKEDNATEST and #TAMARVSMENDECES began trending, amplifying the public's emotional engagement. The story evolved daily, each new tidbit creating a domino effect of opinions and judgments. Tamar struggled with trust. Even loyal friends became suspect. She documented interactions obsessively, capturing messages, calls, and emails, fearing that anything overlooked could become ammunition in the ongoing drama. The isolation intensified, but public perception mattered more than personal peace. Every decision was strategic, every silence calculated. Mendeecees confronted individuals implicated in the alleged tampering of the DNA test. Confrontations were explosive, voices raised, accusations hurled. Some denied any wrongdoing, while others offered partial truths, claiming they acted under pressure. Frustration mounted as clarity proved elusive. Trust, once fragile, eroded almost entirely. Funky continued to weave a narrative that blurred the line between revelation and provocation. He hinted at undisclosed meetings, private discussions, and additional individuals involved, creating a sense that the drama extended far beyond what fans could see. Emotions ran high online, with viewers choosing sides passionately, debating morality, authenticity, and intent. Tamar attempted to regain control by planning strategic appearances, aiming to clarify parts of the story without confirming anything that could escalate conflict. She spoke to select media outlets under strict conditions, attempting to balance transparency and protection. Fans were divided, some praised her composure, while others claimed she was manipulating perception. The alleged attack lingered as a shadow over every discussion. Unclear, unconfirmed, yet widely accepted as plausible, it added tension to interviews, social media posts, and private interactions. The fear of legal consequences, public backlash, and media scrutiny created an atmosphere of constant vigilance for all involved. Mendeecees reviewed past decisions regarding the DNA test, questioning his own judgment. He realized that oversight, pressure, and trust in intermediaries had allowed potential manipulation. Regret and frustration blended, resulting in calculated actions and cautious communication. Yet emotionally, he remained vulnerable, aware that public opinion could shift instantly. Throughout it all, the narrative evolved organically. Fans dissected every clip, conversation, and public statement. Speculation became commentary, commentary became news, and news became part of the ongoing drama. Each layer of revelation prompted more questions than answers. The family's divisions deepened as internal conversations were leaked, misinterpreted, or amplified. By the end of the week, it was clear that the fallout was far from over. Tamar, Mendeecees, and Funky existed within a web of perception, rumor, and unverified claims. The DNA test and alleged attack remained focal points, driving conversation and engagement. Fans stayed glued, emotions ran high, and every development was scrutinized for what it revealed, and what it obscured. The drama escalated when a new twist entered the narrative. A purported insider, claiming knowledge of both Tamar's and Mendeecees' camps, shared messages suggesting that the DNA test might have been intentionally mishandled to create maximum tension. Fans were shocked, dissecting the claims line by line, trying to determine authenticity. Speculation spread like wildfire, with every user theorizing motives and potential beneficiaries of the alleged manipulation. Emotions ran high across platforms, and even casual observers felt compelled to take sides. Tamar felt the pressure intensify. The leaks forced her to reassess every alliance. Friendships were scrutinized, past conversations replayed in her mind, and every interaction weighed for potential consequences. She found herself isolated in ways that were both physical and emotional. Even when surrounded by those she trusted, doubt crept in. The lines between friend and foe blurred, leaving her cautious in every engagement. Mendeecees faced his own turmoil. The ongoing rumors about the alleged attack and DNA test made him question the intentions of those around him. He had previously tried to maintain calm, focusing on facts and evidence, but the mounting speculation left him frustrated. He demanded clarity from associates, some of whom responded reluctantly or cryptically. The lack of definitive answers only fueled further anger and mistrust. Funky amplified the chaos by hinting at financial and procedural irregularities tied to the DNA test. He suggested that certain people had pushed for a rushed outcome, intentionally limiting verification steps. Fans were shocked by the idea that manipulation extended beyond interpersonal conflict into administrative and logistical realms. His comments sparked debates across social media, with viewers arguing over the credibility and implications of his claims. Tamar's attempts to clarify her stance became complicated. She tried addressing the misinformation selectively, speaking to trusted media sources, but every public statement was scrutinized and interpreted in multiple ways. Each clarification produced a counter-narrative. Even supportive fans began to question motives, wondering whether silence or selective disclosure signified guilt or strategy. The tension around her reputation grew, amplifying the emotional stakes. The alleged attack remained a focal point. Vague references, unconfirmed reports, and leaked conversations suggested physical confrontation might have occurred, though details were scarce. The ambiguity heightened public curiosity, leading to intense speculation. Fans created timelines, compared statements, and tried to reconstruct events, fueling the story's momentum. The fear of real-life consequences added an edge to the narrative, making the drama feel immediate and dangerous. Mendeecees continued to analyze the chain of events surrounding the DNA test. He revisited prior communications, comparing timestamps, questioning who had authority over certain decisions, and identifying gaps in the sequence of actions. The investigation, like scrutiny, heightened tension among associates, who felt exposed and vulnerable. Every interaction was fraught with caution, as people weighed what could be revealed or withheld. Tamar struggled to manage her public image while navigating personal conflict. Her advisors suggested strategic messaging, but the complexity of the situation made every statement a risk. She faced the challenge of addressing rumors without confirming speculation, balancing transparency with protection. The uncertainty surrounding the DNA test and alleged attack meant that no approach could fully resolve the growing tension. Funky's involvement continued to shift dynamics. He implied that he had access to information yet to be revealed publicly, hinting at conversations, documents, and actions that would surprise fans. The suggestion of unreleased evidence created a sense of anticipation and suspense. Fans were shocked by the prospect of hidden layers in an already convoluted story, fueling further discussion and engagement. Private discussions between Tamar and Mendeecees were tense and emotional. Attempts to clarify misunderstandings often led to new conflicts. The allegations of a fake DNA test and the rumored attack cast a shadow over every interaction. Even when intentions were honest, perceptions were colored by prior suspicions. The emotional toll was significant, leaving both parties exhausted and hypervigilant. Media outlets picked up on subtle shifts, reporting ambiguities as breaking news. Fans interpreted these reports as confirmation of underlying drama, even when information was incomplete. Social media amplified speculation, creating echo chambers where unverified claims gained traction. Emotions ran high, with heated debates, fervent defenses, and accusatory commentary flooding platforms. As the story unfolded, Tamar's circle grew increasingly cautious. Conversations were documented, meetings monitored, and messages saved. Every action carried potential consequences. She faced the dual challenge of protecting her reputation while avoiding unnecessary escalation. The pressure intensified, creating a tense environment where every decision mattered. Mendeecees, meanwhile, felt the weight of scrutiny on his personal and professional life. Past decisions, statements, and associations were re-examined. The alleged attack and DNA controversy became inextricably linked in the public's mind, regardless of verified facts. Managing perception became as important as resolving the actual conflict, adding layers of stress and strategic thinking. The combination of ambiguity, speculation, and high stakes ensured that the drama would continue to dominate conversation. Fans remained engaged, dissecting every piece of information, debating authenticity, and questioning motives. The alleged DNA test and rumored attack served as focal points, driving relentless interest. Every development added complexity, reinforcing the narrative's emotional intensity and compelling nature. And so here we are, right in the middle of a storm that refuses to calm down. The Tamar and Mendeecees saga, fueled by Funky's revelations, has shaken not just the families involved but millions of fans who have been following every twist, every accusation, and every hidden layer of this story. Now it's your turn to weigh in, because this isn't just entertainment, it's a conversation that affects perception, loyalty, and how we interpret truth in the age of social media. Every post you read, every comment you leave, every theory you entertain contributes to the living narrative of this drama. Fans are shocked, emotions are running high, and the family remains divided, but the question that remains for you is simple: what do you believe? Do you trust the original DNA test, or do you think Funky's claims reveal a hidden truth that was never meant to surface? Do you see Tamar as a victim caught in a web of deception, or is she a strategist navigating a storm of her own making? And what about Mendeecees? Was he blindsided by circumstances beyond his control, or is there more behind his silence than anyone realizes? The power to voice your opinion is now in your hands, and it matters more than you might think. Every reaction, every perspective, every interaction online shapes the way this story continues to unfold. So take a moment, pause, and consider what you've seen and heard. Think about the alleged attack, the DNA controversy, and the whirlwind of emotions that have consumed everyone involved. Reflect on how trust, betrayal, and secrecy have played a role in shaping events that started as personal conflicts but escalated into a spectacle watched by millions. And as you reflect, don't just stay silent. Participate, comment, share your thoughts with others who are following closely, because this story thrives on engagement. Like and subscribe to stay updated, because you never know when another revelation will surface, another insider will speak, or another twist will turn the narrative on its head. Your voice, your opinion, your interpretation is part of this drama now, woven into the larger conversation that continues to captivate and shock fans around the world. Remember, nothing is ever as simple as it seems in a saga this tangled, and every perspective adds depth to the story. So speak up, stay engaged, and watch closely, because this is far from over. Every day brings new developments, and you don't want to miss a moment. The family may be divided, the test may be disputed, and the alleged attack may remain shrouded in mystery, but your participation ensures that you are not just a spectator, you are part of the conversation. Stay alert, follow updates, share your thoughts, and remember that your engagement keeps the drama alive. Like, subscribe, comment, and stay involved, because the next chapter could arrive at any moment, and it will change everything you think you know.